Hello, hello. So HR provides an amazing viewpoint into bureaucracy. Not in a good way, but it provides a good perspective. But what I'm going to say now is about HR, but it's not really just about HR. So think about this idea of work-life balance. And this idea of work-life balance says that there's work and there's life, and we have to balance it. Now, I actually don't like this definition. I like to think of a continuum. There are things we hate doing at home. There are things we hate doing at work. Things we hate doing at home is maybe dishes. Things we hate doing at work is maybe paperwork. But then as we move to the middle, there are things that we love doing, and there are things that we love doing for both. So for example, there are many books that all of us have not read. Some books have nothing to do with work. Some books have nothing to do with life, but there are many books that are good for both. And I think that this distinction, are you at work, are you at home, it's a very unhealthy distinction. I think that what the modern workplace should do is to say, I want you to have the least amount of misery at work, the least amount of tasks that you don't like at work, and I want to help you do as much as possible in the middle, work and life. So think about somebody is working, and they're thinking, they're sitting in front of the computer and they're stuck. If I insist that they need to be at work, and I say, you have to stay in front of your computer, maybe they'll move to Facebook. But that's not going to help them be creative or thoughtful. Instead, if they go for a run, or walk, they might come back refreshed. Is walking work or life? What about if somebody is hungry and they go to get a cookie? Let's say something healthy. They go to get an apple. Is that work or life? Or what if somebody wants to think about read the newspaper and find out? I think there's so many things. Even if somebody goes to a doctor's meeting, is it meeting a doctor for some health concern? Is it work or non-work? It's both. It's both. I think this dichotomy is a false dichotomy. I think what we should think about is, how do we maximize both? If somebody is saying I'm either doing something at work or home, I think we've betrayed them. Like, if somebody wants to read a book, and there's lots of books to choose from, if they know what they want to read, of course they should read it. But if they don't know what to read, I prefer if they read a book that is good for both. If somebody wants to take a break, I prefer if they take a break that is good for both of them. But of course, when we think about HR policy, first of all, we think about the lowest common denominator. And then we try to make these dichotomies. We say, it's not at the discretion of the individual. No, it's either this or this. And I think it's a very unhelpful approach. I suspect that many more people are not spending their time the right way, not enjoying their work enough, and also struggling much more with time, where we could do things much better. But part of it is to stop this dichotomy, to stop saying, 9 to 5, like if somebody is working 9 to 5 and then they want to read a book at 5, they say, I'm not reading anything that has to do with work. I'm reading something that has nothing. Like, why? Where's this distinction coming from? So this for me is an example of rules running amok. And basically starting with some good intention of somebody without thinking too carefully, and then having a downward negative consequence on the workplace. And I think pre-COVID, we had these rules, but nobody enforced them to the same degree. But now that we're post-COVID and people are enforcing those rules to a higher degree, the pure dead weight loss, the pure reduction in human happiness and productivity is very, very visible, very sad and very visible.